Good Shabbos, everyone.
Good Shabbos, Rabbi.
For those who are watching online, it's really beautiful. We can come together as a community by greeting one another in person as well, wishing each other a Shabbat Shalom, but online, doing so in that chat on YouTube. And so if you're here for Ari's bar mitzvah, then you can give him a shout out in that chat. Tell him you're here. Wish him a mazel tov. Tell him how beautiful this day is and the sun is shining upon him. And so as we become a community, so it's special in that way too. Our prayer book for Shabbat morning is available for download on our YouTube page as well as our Facebook page and our shirshalom.org as well. So you can follow along in the service as Ari leads us in our worship this day. In the 13th year of a young man's life, the boy has a privilege and responsibility to read from Torah for the first time and teach his congregation from that which he has read. More than just chanting Torah and Haftarah, we ask our students to lead us in worship on Shabbat. So more than what they do on this day, they know they're part of a community, a part of much larger and greater people. So on this Shabbos, they're honored to call to the Bima to become bar mitzvah Ari Nathan Blank. Ari is the son of Jamie and Howard Blank and the brother of Ella, and the grandson of Marilyn and William Cohen, Eileen Blank, and David Blank of blessed memory, and the great-grandson of Ethel Shapiro. And so we welcome Ari up to our Bima now to lead us in our worship on this Shabbos morning.
We turn to page 63 to begin our service. We read responsively. It is good to give thanks to God, to sing praises to your name, to tell of your love in the morning, and to sing of your faithfulness at night, playing with an instrument of 10 strings, sounding the lute and stroking the harp. Your works have made me rejoice, and your glories move me to sing. How great are your works, O God! How profound your design! The insensitive will never appreciate your creations, nor will the fool understand life's meaning. The wicked may flourish like grass, and the evil may multiply, but they are all doomed to failure. But you, O Eternal, shall be exalted forever. All shall proclaim that Adonai is just. Let every living being bless your name, and let every spirit glorify our God forever. Throughout all time we will have no ruler but you, our God. You guide the world with love and touch each of your creations with care and kindness. You neither slumber nor sleep. You cause the speechless to utter words and the wrongly imprisoned to go free. You support the fallen, heal the sick, and raise up the lonely. To you alone do we give thanks. We turn to page 65 and rise for the call to worship. Baruch et Adonai Hamvarach. Praise be our God, to whom all praise is due. Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed. Praise be our God, to whom all praise is due, now and forever.
Baruch hu et Adonai Hamvarach. Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Yotzer or uvorei choshech, oseh shalom uvorei et hakol, hameir la'aretz v'ladarim aleha barachamim, uv tuvo mechadesh bechol yom tamid ma'aseh bereshit. Praise be the Eternal our God, ruler of the world, who makes light to shine and darkness to descend upon us. God has taught us the meaning of peace and shapes all things that we touch. With compassion, God gives the earth light and renews the work of creation day by day. Ma rabu ma'asecha Adonai, kulam bechokma asita, mal'a ha'aretz ki necha, tit barach Adonai Eloheinu, al shavach ma'aseh yadeha, ve'al me'orei or she'asita yafa'arucha selah, or chadash al tzion ta'ir v'nizke chulanu meheira le'oro, baruch ata Adonai yotzer ha'me'orot. How great are your works, O God! In wisdom you make them all. The earth is filled with your creations. For the glow of the stars and the work of your hands, let all of your creations give you praise. Shine a new light upon Zion, that we may swiftly merit its radiance. Blessed be the eternal maker of the morning light. Great is your love for us, and abiding your compassion. Our ancestors trusted in you, and you taught them how to value life. Be gracious now to us, and with kindness guide us with your understanding, so that we might both learn and teach the laws of truth. Baruch ata Adonai haboher be'amo Yisrael be'ahava. Blessed is our God, who in love has chosen Israel to be a people. As we recite the watchword of our faith. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Hear, O Israel, the Lord is our God, the Lord is one.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed.
Please be seated. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol meodecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinatan levanecha v'dibarta bam B'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'leftecha v'derech u'shokbecha uv'kumecha u'kshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot bein einecha u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'visharecha leman tizkeru Va'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'hitem kedoshim le'Elohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti echem me'eretz Mitzrayim lehiot lachem le'Elohim ani Adonai Elohechem. You shall love the Eternal, your God, with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. Set these words which I command you this day upon your heart. Teach them faithfully to your children. Speak of them in your home and on your way, when you lie down and when you rise up. Bind them as a sign upon your hand, and they shall be a symbol before your eyes. Write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Be mindful of my mitzvot and do them. So shall you consecrate yourself to your God. I, the Eternal, am your God, who led you out of Egypt to be your God. I, the Eternal, am your God. These enduring words have been a lamp unto our feet and a light unto our path. Faith and choice bring understanding to the soul and sensitivity to the heart. In all times and places, our God has been a part of our lives. Our faith has been our rock and our help. We watched God's wonders when we went free from Egypt. When slavery's chains were broken, we witnessed it. May those who have the faith to believe also have the wisdom to be kind. O God, in whom we have all hope, we glorify your name now as our people have praised you throughout history.
Mi chamocha b'elim Adonai ישראל, ופדך נעמך, יהודה וישראל. גואלנו אדוני צבאות שמו, קדוש ישראל. ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל.
We rise and turn to page 70 for the Amidah. We pray either following the word of our prayer book or those our hearts might prompt. Adonai sefai taititach ufia gitehilatecha. Eternal God, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your glory. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Leah, Elohei Rachel, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Ve'konei Ha'kol, Ve'zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, Umevi Ga'ula Livnei V'neihem, Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer Umoshia Umagen. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Leolam Adonai, Mechaye Hakol Atah Rav Lehoshia, Morid Hatal, Mechalkel Chayim Bechesed, Mechaye Hakol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Verofe Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Kayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Micha Mocha Be'al Gevurot, Umido Melach, Melech Memit, Chayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman Atala HaChayot HaKol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechaye HaKol. Eternal is your power, O God. You are mighty to save. You rain dew upon us. In love you sustain the living. In the multitude of your mercies you preserve all. You uphold the falling and heal the sick. Free the captives and keep faith with your children in death as in life. Who is like you? Who is your equal, author of life and death, source of salvation? Blessed is the eternal God, the source of life. We sanctify your name on earth, even as your holiness is proclaimed in the heavens, above, and throughout time and space. In the words of the prophet Isaiah we say, Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts. The fullness of the whole earth is God's glory.
Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzevaot, Meloch ol haaretz kevodo. Baruch kavod Adonai mimakomo. Yimloch Adonai leolam, Elohai Zion, ledor vador. Hallelujah.
To all generations we will make known your greatness, and to all eternity proclaim your holiness. Your praise, O God, shall never depart from our lips. Blessed is the Adonai, the holy God. Please be seated. Our God and the God of our ancestors, accept our rest as a sacrifice of time and space. Let us share in your world by celebrating creation day by day. Purify our hearts so that we may be honest and upright, forgiving and compassionate. Blessed are you, O God of truth, who helps us to make the Sabbath a part of our life and our heritage of joy. Look with favor, O God, upon your people Israel, and receive our prayers with love. May it be your will to accept our worship and our deeds. Blessed are you, who alone we serve in reverence. Eternal source of good, we thank you for the numberless gifts and blessings that fill our days, for life itself and its endless variety, for all that sustains body and mind, for love and friendship, for the delights of the senses, and for the excellence of your Torah, which deepens our life and enriches our days. Help us, O God, to work for a just and compassionate society where all may share your gifts in the joy of freedom. For all of this, your name shall be blessed and praised forever.
ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת. ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת. מקדשי שביעי שבת כולם יספרו ראיתן גם טובך שבת. ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת. ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת. זכר למעשה בראשית שבת. זכר למעשה בראשית שבת. ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת. ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת.
Those who keep the Sabbath and call it a delight shall rejoice in your majesty. All who hallow the seventh day shall find happiness in your goodness. This day is Israel's festival of the Spirit, sanctified and blessed by you, the most precious of days, a symbol of the joy of creation.
שים שלום טוב
Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country that it may always be a stronghold of peace and its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within its borders, health and happiness within its homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship among the inhabitants of all lands, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Blessed is the eternal God, the source of peace. We continue our service with the reading of the Torah on page 79. As is our tradition, in honor of my bar mitzvah, and thanks to the love and kindness, I call upon my mom and dad.
Ein kamocha v'Elohim Adonai, ve'ein kama'asecha, malechutecha, malechut kol ha'olamim, u'memshaltecha b'chol dor v'dor. Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed. Adonai oz le'amo yitain, Adonai yevarech et amo v'shalom.
Ari, as your grandmother prepares to give you this talis, your grandma Eileen, and share these words with you first at this time.
Ari, Pat, and I have always been so proud of you. We have watched you grow into a wonderful, warm, and caring person. You have worked so hard with such dedication on your Jewish education. You have given so much of your time to helping others. I am so happy and proud to present this beautiful talis to you as you become a bar mitzvah today. Mazel tov, and I love you.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvot tov, v'tzivanu lehitatef b'tzitzi.
And now as you go to your Gree and your Pop, your other grandparents, as they present this talis bag that I know your grandmother made for you as well.
It was a long time making this talisman. I want you to know how much it meant to us to have that done. Actually, of course, Gree did that. And I know with all those hundreds and maybe thousands of stitches, each time she put one in, she thought of you and what a great kid you've been and great kid, young man you'll be. So we are happy to present this. And I did do a little work on this.
Ari, every stitch was made with love, true love for the wonderful young man that you are and will become. And inside it says, "Dear Ari, we are so proud of you and your bar mitzvah. We always will be. We love you."
Come on, this way.
He's broken.
Ari, it is impossible to put to words the feelings that Mom and I have for you. You warm up our lives every day. There is such great emotion when we think of you, emotion which fills a large space in our hearts. We are so lucky to be your parents and have loved every minute of it. You are a sweet kid who is so kind to others and a gentle person. Except, of course, in the middle of a competition, which could be as small as a table tennis game in the basement or as large as a championship basketball game. You are fun and fun-loving. You're clever, and you have such high determination. We look back on the multi-thousand-piece Legos you build, not always so easy, and I'm very impressed. Equally impressive is your drive and diligence as a gardener. Most people don't know this about you, but your garden is incredible, and the vegetables you grow each summer are amazing. We cannot wait to see what this summer will bring. Your determination in creating fun is hilarious, too. Trick shot videos, toothpick structures, and Rube Goldberg projects, just to list a few. We are impressed by your musical skill. Again, like Ella, we're not sure where you got that. And also your observational skills. You're often one not to jump into something without first understanding how it works. And then when you tackle a task, you seem to do it in a manner like you've done it before. This year has been a super challenging year for many reasons, yet you have tackled school very well. You're on top of your assignments and stayed positive this school year. Your leadership in the virtual classroom world is exemplary. The virtual format can be truly difficult, but you're right on top of the task.
Ari, your preparation for today has been steady and commendable. We cannot recall a single time that you pushed back against practicing for this service. In fact, you consistently took the initiative to practice, and we noted that you seemed to find peace and calm in the challenge of the preparation. Obstacles and altered plans have frequently occurred. However, your attitude has been so great. You've made every possible negative into a positive. Remarkable for a 13-year-old boy. Looking back on your mitzvah project this year, none of it surprises us. You chose your project, and your project spoke to you. We know you will share details of your project in your Devar Torah, but we must mention your persistence in preparing food for those in need. Over the course of 6 months, you unloaded 1,000 boxes of food, providing 20,000 meals. Your project of organizing all this food created order in a world of chaos. Ari, you have changed and matured so much recently. Your effort and energy in life have grown immensely. You are a cerebral leader, bringing your teammates on the sports field with you. Your understanding of the principles of the game has increased as you have dived into learning as much as possible about how to play a sport. On the baseball field and basketball court, you are a vocal leader. You hate to lose, and you never give up. Just last week, in a middle school tennis singles match, you were down 3-1 and losing quickly. Yet you turned a corner and won 5 of the next 6 games to take the set and match 6-4. You told me you felt you were going to win the entire time. Hard to believe this happened, given that you truly just started playing tennis consistently 1 month ago on spring break.
Most importantly, Ari, we love the person you are. You are a wonderful friend, brother, and a great son. We love your relationship you have with Ella, as it is truly special. We hope for you that life brings you lots of lemonade, and the sailing ahead is smooth, with gentle, but sometimes exciting, navigable winds.
Our God and the God of our ancestors, as I stand before this ark, I represent the generations of my people who stood before you, who have lived and died by your law. Give me the wisdom to understand the words that shall be read from your Torah. Endow me with the sensitivity that can make this law a part of my life and the length of my days. May your word be a lamp unto our people's feet and a light unto our path, showing us the way to a reality that is true and a life that is righteous. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Hear, O Israel, the Lord is our God, the Lord is one. Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo. Our God is one, our God is great, holy is God's name.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu. גדול אדוננו, קדוש שמו. על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים, העולם עומד.
Our Torah portion this Shabbat is Parasha Emor from the book of Leviticus, chapter 23, verses 33 through 44, that Ari will be chanting for us. You can find on page 930 of our Chumashim, the blue Torah commentaries for those in the sanctuary who would like to follow along with Ari as he reads his portion. We call upon our first Aliyah, the grandparents and great-grandmother of our bar mitzvah, Marilyn and William Cohen and Eileen Blank and Ethel Shapiro. Ya'amdu, Masha, Shena, Bat Sheva Etafega, Zev ben Natan Ephraim Barachel, Chana Chaika, Bat Chaim Zara Baruchel, Etafega Ba Aaron Vabela Rishon.
Baruch Adonai Barach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai, notein ha'torah.
Amen.
Amen. Vaydaber Adonai el Moshe lemor. Daber el Bnei Yisrael lemor. B'chamisha asar yom lachodesh hashvi'i hazeh chag hasukot shiv'at yamim l'Adonai bayom harishon mikra kodesh kol melechet avodah lo ta'asu.
Atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah et chayei olam naton v'katenu. Baruch atah Adonai, notein ha'torah.
Amen. Send hugs up to the bar mitzvah boy.
You can go on the next.
Ari, see them? All sending you love? That's good. Okay. We call upon our second Aliyah, aunts and uncles of our bar mitzvah, Lori and Robbie Cohen, and Beverly and Sean Forrest. Ya'amdu, Lila, Matana, Bar Hershel, V'Pesa, Shlomo Aron, Ben Zev, Mashashena, Brindalea, Batevia, Yido, V'Chana Chaika, Simcha, Rachmiel, Shlomo, Ben Eliezer, Hila, V'Brucha, Shenit.
Baruch Hu Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Barach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch Atah Adonai notein ha'torah.
Amen.
Amen. Shiv'at yamim takrivu ishe Adonai bayom hashemini mikra kodesh yeh lachem v'higraftem ishe Adonai atzeret hi kol melechet avodah lo ta'asu. Eile moadei Adonai asher tikra'u otam mikra'ei kodesh lehakriv ishe Adonai ola umincha zevach unsachim devar yom beyomo milevad shabbatot Adonai Umilevad matanotechem, umilevad kol nidrehem, umilevad kol nivotechem. asher titenu l'Adonai.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen.
Our third Aliyah, the proud parents and older sister of our bar mitzvah, Jamie, Howard, and Ella Blank. Ya'amdu, Tera Zelda bat Zev and Masha Shena, Chaim Yisrael ben Tevi Yedev Chana Chaika, Rachel Natanya bat Chaim Yisrael bat Sarah Zelda Shlishit. 1, 2, 3, go.
Baruch Adonai Hamorah.
Baruch Adonai Barak Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Ach, b'chamisha asar yom l'chodesh hashvi'i be'oz pechem et tevuat ha'aretz tachogu et chag Adonai shiv'at yamim b'yom harishon Shabbaton u'bayom hashemini Shabbaton u'kachtem lachem b'yom harishon peri eitz hadar kapot temarim va'anaf eitz avot v'arvei nachal usmachtem lifnei Adonai Elohechem shiv'at yamim v'chagotem oto chag la'Adonai shiv'at yamim b'shana chukat olam l'dorotechem b'chodesh hashvi'i tachogu oto.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
You can get real hugs. Give Ella some love. Come on. She's proud of you. It's all good. We call upon our maftir, our final Aliyah, our bar mitzvah. Ya'amod lev Ephraim ben Chaim Yisrael v'tzera Zelda Ravida bar mitzvah.
Baruch et Adonai havorach.
Baruch Adonai Barach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai havorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'na'atan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Basukot teshavu shiv'at yamim, kol ha'ezrach b'Yisrael yeshavu basukot. Lema'an yedeu dorotechem ki vasukot hoshavti et bnei Yisrael behotzi'i otam me'eretz Mitzrayim ani Adonai Elohechem vaydaber Moshe et moadei Adonai el bnei Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'hayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. My Torah portion is about God telling Moses the rules of Sukkot. Sukkot will be celebrated on the 15th day of the 7th month in the Jewish calendar. The first and last day of Sukkot will be a day of rest when work is forbidden. During the 8 days of Sukkot, you must live in a booth. You will eat all of your meals in this booth, as well as sleeping in it. As Sukkot is a celebration of the fall harvest, the farmers would live in a booth in their fields to help harvest as long as they could each day. Some crops will be eaten during Sukkot. Some will be offered as sacrifices to God, and the corners of the fields will be left unpicked for the needy to harvest. In a part of my Torah portion, it talks about living in booths. God told Moses that the Israelites must live in booths during the holiday of Sukkot. God wants the Israelites to live in booths because they had to live in them when they went free from Egypt. In these booths, there was a roof with holes in it, as well as the walls having holes in it. When it rained, the people got wet. Any bad weather that happened, it could get through to the booth to the people. Living in booths during Sukkot reminds us to be thankful for the things we have, because not everyone has that privilege. My Torah portion is God giving directions to Moses. God trusts Moses to tell the Israelites what he is telling Moses. But Moses also trusts God to tell Moses the right directions. I believe that when someone gives directions to someone else, they trust them in a way. When the Jewish people were slaves in Egypt, God trusted Moses to help get the Jews to freedom. If God didn't trust Moses, he wouldn't have given Moses directions. To get to the spot I am now, people have trusted me and given me directions on how to lead a congregation and read from Torah. Rabbi Mike, Rabbi Daniel, Cantor Penny, and Yali have all helped me to become a bar mitzvah. I trusted them to teach me the correct information, and they gave me directions and trusted me to lead this service today. My Torah portion reminds me to be thankful for what I have and to give to others in need. This past year has been hard for many people. More people have food insecurities. During one of the Madrahim programs, the class unpacked and sorted boxes full of food for people in need. After the program, I decided to continue to work unpacking boxes full of food for my mitzvah project. The social hall of temple was filled with big pallets of food. Every week, my family and I would go to the social hall to unpack and repack food for food banks. Our first week, we had 67 cars that needed food going through Temple Kolami down the street. Every week, the number of cars would rise, meaning more people needed food. In our second to last week packing for Temple Kolami, the number of cars had reached 94. This simple act of going to temple once a week for an hour to help get food to people in need can help food insecurities in our community. Today, I became a bar mitzvah. Today is the day that I read from the Torah that every other B'nai mitzvah has read from. All over the world, every temple reads my Torah portion today. Every time someone becomes a B'nai mitzvah, they are linked with every other B'nai mitzvah in the world. For the last 9 months, I have been working on the prayers and portions of this service. Today is the day that all that hard work paid off. Today is the day that I became a bar mitzvah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar b'nvi'im tovim v'ratza b'divreihem hana'emarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai habocher b'torah uv Moshe Abdo, uv Yisrael Amo, uv Inviei Ha'emet B'Tzedek. My Haftorah comes from Ezekiel chapter 44. Uv Yom Bo'o El HaKodesh El Hechatzer Hapanimit L'sharei ba'kodesh yakriv chatato ne'um Adonai Adonai v'hayata lahem l'nachala Ani nachalatam va'achuzah lo titenu lahem be'Yisrael ani achuzatam hamincha v'hachatat v'ha'asham hema yochelum v'chol cherem be'Yisrael lahem yihiyeh Bereshit kol bikurecho v'chol terumat kol mikol terumotechem lakohanim yihiyeh Bereshit arisotechem titenu lakohen lehaniach beracham el beitecha kol nevela utrefa min ha'of umin ha'behema lo yochelu hakohanim Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Sur Kol HaOlamim Sadiq Bechol HaDorot Ha'el HaNe'eman HaOmer Ve'oseh Hamdaber Kayem Shekol Devarav Emet Vatzedek Al HaTorah Ve'al ha'avodah, ve'al ha'nevi'im, ve'al yom ha'shabbat hazeh, shenatata lanu, Adonai Eloheinu, likdusha v'limnucha, lechavod ultifaret, al ha'kol, Adonai Eloheinu, anachnu, modim lach, Umvarchim otach, Yitbarach Shemha, Bafi Kol Chai, Tamid Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Ata Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat.
In the presence of a Torah, our thoughts turn to those in need of healing and strength. Not only those in our families and our congregation, of course, all those in our country and the world battling the coronavirus. Of course, on this Shabbat, we think of those in Israel, the 150 who are injured in Mount Meron, linking ourselves with them, praying for their recovery, their healing as well. Shberach Avotenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov v'Imotenu Sarab K'lei Barachal v'Yivarech et Choli.
rise and turn to page 89. Havu godel lelohenu, utnu havod la Torah. Let us declare the greatness of our God and give honor to the Torah. Yihalelu et shem Adonai, ki nisgav shemo livado. Let us praise God's name, for it's exalted above all.
Hodo al eretz v'shamayim vayaren keren li'amo tehila lechol chasidav livnei Yisrael am kerovo. Hallelujah, hallelujah.
Torah Adonai Tamima Meshivat Nafesh. Edut Adonai Ne'emana Makimat Peti. The law of our God is perfect, restoring the soul. The testimony of the Eternal is sure, making wise the simple. Pikude Adonai Yesharim Mesam Che Lev. Mitzvah Adonai Bara Me'irat Einayim. The precepts of our God are right, rejoicing the heart. The commandment of the Eternal is clear, enlightening the eyes. Yirat Adonai Teho Ra Omedet La Ad. Mishpete Adonai Emet Sadku Yachdav. The presence of our God is pure, enduring forever. The judgments of the Eternal are true and righteous altogether. Ki lekach tov natati lachem torati al ta'azovu. Behold, I have given you a good doctrine. My Torah, do not forsake it.
Eitz chaimi lama chazikim ba v'tom echea meushar terachia terachenu v'chol netivotea
Ari, a huge mazel tov from all of us to you on doing such a wonderful job today. And before I get to speak for ourselves, I get to speak on behalf of a number of groups here at Temple. Your dad represents part of those groups, one of those groups, because from our board of directors, which he's a member of, we like to present our students with a high holiday prayer book, Mishkan and Nefesh, which we'll be using in the upcoming years so that you'll be able to have that with your name on it as the board's way of saying mazel tov and welcome to the big house, the other one. From our brotherhood, we've given you a year of SISTI, of youth group dues, so that you can follow in your sister's footsteps and be a part of that. We know that you enjoy engaging in all the activities here at Temple. We know you enjoy engaging in all those activities at Temple, and we look forward to having you continue and be a part of those programs as well. And from our sisterhood, Lev Belev, we've planted a tree in Israel for you, so that one day when you get there, hopefully very soon with us, you'll be able to help water that tree and see where it's been planted for you too. But all of which is a way of saying Mazel Tov. All right, I don't know where to begin as I get to share some nice words with you as well, because throughout this entire process, we've seen the young man who we've always seen, even in our preschool program when we were down the street. Remember those days, and it's been awesome watching you grow up from that, whether you were first coming in a stroller as your mom ran, pushing you from behind on your way to preschool, to later riding your bike, and then seeing you around the neighborhood and at Temple and all sorts of other things. And from that early age through today, we've seen just an incredible young man, and the young man who you are and who you've become. There's two words I want to talk about in Yiddish before I get to two Hebrew words for a moment, and those two words are nachas and yichus. And we're going to come back to yichus in a moment, but the idea of yichus, it means lineage, and it's the idea of those people who are standing next to you, who are behind you, who are present with us, whether online or here in the sanctuary. It's the idea that you've got good yichus. You've got great people around you who do what's such a wonderful job of role modeling for you what it means to be a mensch, to be a good person. And you've taken all those lessons and you've shaped them into creating the young man who you are, who is just a blessing to have in our community and around. That other word, nachas is that feeling of pride. And it's a feeling that we can see with those smiles and the twinkles in your parents' eyes watching you. Really all of us here as we're watching you, just so proud of the job that you did leading us all in reading Torah and leading the service. Part of that for us as clergy is we like it when we get to sit back and just watch you do your thing because we don't have to work, and that's exactly what we knew we would get to do today with you, because every step along this way, as your parents talked about, you were somebody who observes and then puts into action those things. And there was never a point where we had to say, Ari, you forgot to do this, or Ari, we need to make sure that you're doing this, because when we asked you to do something, you always did it. You always made sure that it was ready, and it was awesome. Two Hebrew words I want to share with you actually come from your name. Your Hebrew name is Lev Ephraim. And early on, I asked you if you knew who you were named for. And you were named for your two of your great-grandparents, I think Lil and Fred. And that's where you got the name Lev and Ephraim. And your parents, when they gave you those names years ago, had no idea how those two individuals would shape who you are. But their hope was that by giving you a name connected to them, that you would take on their qualities as well, and that you would grow to be your own person. The name Lev means heart, and what an incredible heart you have. We see that as you talked about in your bar mitzvah project, that you did that project here at Temple and then just started picking up volunteering with Hazon, unpacking those boxes, and it was great for us because you were one of the few people that we actually got to spend time with here at Temple during this last year. And we look forward to those, whether it was a Friday afternoon or a Wednesday or a Thursday, that we knew that you guys would be popping in, and we get a text message, hey, are you guys going to be at Temple today to open up? Because you wanted to do some volunteering. And we see that heart in everything that you do, whether it's just the excitement or the energy that you put into whatever you're involved in, even being prepared for a camping trip where you're the only person that brought a mallet with him so he could drive in those stakes. Your heart was involved in it. You put it all in there. The name Ephraim is actually after one of Joseph's sons in the Bible. And I think there's a great connection for you here because on Friday nights, when we ask God to bless our children, we use the name Ephraim traditionally for the same words that we're about to recite to you as well. We say, may God make you like Ephraim and Manasseh. And we wonder why sometimes, why Ephraim and Manasseh? And it was because Ephraim and Manasseh lived in Egypt, and they lived in a society where people didn't always have the same morals, the same values that they were supposed to have. But they fought against those, and they maintained those values a part of who they were, and what was a part of their character. And we see that in you as well, that just like Ephraim, you hold on to those values, those ethics, the way that you treat other people based on what those people around you, that yichus, that lineage is shared with you. And so as we ask God to bless you in a moment, we hope that may, one, that God continue to bless you, but two, just like we say those words, may God make you like Ephraim and Manasseh, that we think, may God make people in our society more like Ari because of what you bring to us and how you make our world better.
What I keep thinking of is this idea of authentically Ari, because not just today, and watching you up here today, I think you relish the entire time. I mean, you'd finish one prayer, Cantor would start singing, and you'd sit back and sort of smile, look at the crowd, like, look at what I'm doing. I'm awesome. And you are. It was authentically Ari. In a toddler, you could like light up the room with that same smile. Smile hasn't changed. Or you'd give us that look with your eyes, like furrowing your brow, like, Rabbi, like that. Authentically Ari. Always consistent, always you. Or even when you take out a pool noodle and chase me around temple with that. I would never do that. That was you, I think. Always you. You know, your intensity, your passion, your love, and that zest for life. And that's such a special thing. You know, Ari, it's always been a part of what you bring to the table and what we love and what draws people in. You make it fun. I mean, even when at one point I corrected you in your practicing, I said, slow down just a little bit, and then you, being Ari, had to say, grant us peace. Is that slow enough, Rabbi? Just to make sure I was paying attention, because that's you. And I know, you know, part of your gift, and you mentioned it in your Devar, is appreciating the gifts you have in your life and noticing the blessings around you all the time, and you really do it. You do it so naturally. I know for all of us here, especially for your family, without your Pa's presence here, we feel that great loss. And we know part of this time of year was planned so that he could be with us. But you know his presence is here because I see it in you. Everything I learned about your grandpa Dave is the idea that he relished life completely, loved the moments, and brought people together. And you live that, my friend. You live it and you have his presence within you. And that's a gift. And everyone feels it and sees it and loves it. And so it's such a special thing that you get to bring as we ask God to bless you now. You are blessed, my friend, because you bring blessings to our life. So I ask your sister and your mom to switch places, your sister to go behind you, your mom next to you, to place their hands on you as the traditional blessing comes from your parents. And they bring this in their touch as they've been blessed with your grandparents as well. So ask God to bless you now.
יברכך אדוני וישמרך.
Ari, may God bless you. May God protect you.
יאר אדוני פניו אליך ויחונך.
Lev, Ephraim, may God's light shine upon you and continue to shine through you.
יישא אדוני פניו אליך וישם לך שלום.
All right, may God always be a part of who you are. Give you all your blessings to appreciate and for you to bring into this world. May you, yes, may you have gezint, health, parnasa, success whenever you do. May you have nachas from kinder, joy from children as you give to your parents and grandparents. May you feel that in your life as well. And most of all, may you have peace, shalom, in your heart, in your mind. May you, my friend, continue to help bring more peace into our world. Amen.
לדור ודור נגיד גודלך. לדור ודור we protect this chain. From generation to generation, Lidor Vador, our lips will praise your name.
We continue with our concluding prayers as we rise together on page 91 of our prayer books for the words of the Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא ביום Ushamo, Ushamo, Ushamo Echad.
O God, who heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds, give comfort to those who mourn. Give them courage and strength, compassion and kindness, and restore to them a sense of life's goodness. Give them the ability to accept the mystery of life, and let them soon know peace. Help them endure that which no one can understand, and let us say, Amen. This Shabbat, we think of those friends and family who have been taken from us in these most recent days. Whose Shiva and Shloshim we mark. Eleanor Park, William Rolnick, Mike Brash, Marjorie Pensine, Arnold Slutsky, Dr. Michael Cook. We add those whose Shana we mark. David Blank, Fanny Zuckerman, as well as the 45 lives lost yesterday in Israel at Mount Meron, the 7,038 Americans in our armed forces who have been killed in Iraq, Afghanistan, and the surrounding areas to date, and the 575,551 Americans who have lost their lives to the coronavirus. And to their names we add those whose yard-sites we mark, those of whose anniversary of passing we lovingly commemorate. Ruth Africh, Carol Binder, May Bussell, James Chandler, Mary Coleman, Bob Ellis, Martha Feinstein, Bertram Feldman, Jeanette Feldman, Albert Fisher, Cecilia Esther Frank, Harry Freitag, Miriam Goldring, Francis Grand, Rose Horwich, Joyce Jackson, Jerry Jacobs, Rachel Kahn, Lori Gilbert Kay, Ben Kavinsky, Elaine Kavinsky, David Kunzman, David Liederman, Rose Ledger, Joyce Rosalind Leopold, Merle Lesserman, Burton Mahler, Alan Mursky, Ann Neisnick, Peter Patterson, Julie Pivosias, Gertrude Rosen, Judith Rosen Schiffman, Joka Shimko, Stephen Simons, Sally Solomon, Sandra Sanino, Paul Rodney Stein, Libby Tadelbaum, Mary Varon, Robert Cresswell West, Jr., along with all the names in our hearts and those who have no one to say Kaddish for them. Do we join together in the immortal words of the Mourner's Kaddish as found on page 96 of our prayer books, thanking God for the gift of life. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, ve'almad divrach chirutei v'amlich malchutei, v'chayachon u'vyomachon u'v'chayei l'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mivarach le'alam omei amaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleb v'yitalal shmei d'kedusha b'richu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav, huya say shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn. Comfort to all the bereaved among us here and everywhere. As together we say, Amen.
Oseh shalom b'mramav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru, imru, amen. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom,
to come back on the bima to lead us in our Kiddush and our Motzi as well. Oh, Rabbi, Challah. One sec. Ari, you can take your mask off, guys. You two can. You hold this, and as Ari gets, you got it? Sort of like Stanley Cup there, you got it. Stand next to your brother. Come on, it's a cute scene. So as they're doing that, don't forget, if you're online with us right now, please, you can, again, give a shout out to let Ari know you've been a part of this beautiful service, how proud you are of him, how awesome he did as well, as he leads us in the Kiddush with the cantor.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Amen. L'chaim.
You have a sip. Pass to your sister. Let her have a sip too. Just like the grape juice you had at preschool, Ari. Same vintage. Nice.
Ready? Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
Yeah, there you go. The exciting part of this, right? So as Ari and Ella enjoy the challah and bring it to their mom and dad, we say, Anai oz ve'emo yitain, Anai avarechet amo v'shalom. May God give strength to all people, both all of us here and everywhere, with peace. Mazel tov, everyone, to our parents, our grandparents, our great-grandmother as well, and to Ari Blank. Enjoy. Shabbat shalom.